Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking some essential relational concepts. Okay, Xi is today's character, translated as daughter-in-law. So yesterday we talked about Xu, son-in-law. Now Xi, daughter-in-law, and this daughter-in-law mostly from the the mother-in-law's perspective. So it's the the, the man's mother, and to her, whoever the wife of the son brought in would be considered xi. Okay, this is then will be the daughter-in-law. Okay, xi in Chinese we can see traditional simplified look the same, and the 2,000 years ago dictionary didn't even include this character. I mean, how can there such a myth? This daughter-in-law should be kind of important, right, in how the family roll, but it was not in the dictionary. And well, if we, according to the simplified traditional, the two parts of the characters, we find out the two characters and put them side by side. It will look like this. And the left side is a woman symbol, woman before motherhood, specifically. So there's 女, and the right side is breathing, 吸. Chinese emphasize breathing a lot. Lots of our characters related to pronunciation relates to the air going out. And here we emphasize the nose and heart connection. The top is nose. I mean, it doesn't look like a nose, does it? We have verticalized nostrils. So here is the face symbol, which is kind of out layer of the peripherals of your head, right? And then the center of the face would be nostrils, like in the middle of here. And the nostrils, our nostrils are kind of side by side vertically, I mean horizontally, right? But to save space, we keep verticalizing stuff. We have nostril, eyes, and even dogs we verticalize. So a lot of them doesn't look gravitational realistic. But that's how Chinese streamline, simplify, and contain characters to shrink, to have an economy of space so that things are not getting wider, but getting more stacked up. So this with the top is probably the nose ridge, kind of looking like that. And then with probably a jawline, something like that. So this symbolizes the beginning of the air, which is from your nose. And then bottom is the heart icon that we have this chamber, the pump, and then we have the in tube, out tube as a pump to service function, right? And then we have the third tube that's to power the heart itself. So we have three tubes attached to this pump. That's Chinese simplification and visualization of the heart. And it turned out heart's got four tubes, not three. Okay, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong. So this nose to heart connection was then used to express breathing, because probably ancient times people thought we breathe in the air instead of having it filled in the lung. We miss the lung part because we can hear the heart pumping over there. And obviously the air goes down, right, somewhere. And we thought that tube, this air tube goes down, connects to the heart, have a direct power connection, air supply to the heart, which is totally not true. But that's how Chinese conceptualize how we breathe, involving these two organs, the nose and the heart. And breathing, besides breathing itself, also take the connotation of taking a break, like taking a breather. So taking a breather, kind of like you stop doing whatever you're doing, you just simply breathe. And that way you have a break from some laborious thing you're doing. So this breathing concept eventually take on the meaning of taking a rest, resting. So now we have woman resting. How come that's daughter-in-law? Daughter-in-law, as we talked about the sister-in-law, this Sao is the major kitchen, the cook of the family, right? Because she is from outside and she is probably the oldest. Sao means older, right? Older sister-in-law, and then she is going to take over the job of usually the mother to feed the family. Now we have a sister-in-law. She will be the feeder of the family, the cook. Now, how come here daughter-in-law from the perspective of the mother of the husband, that why this daughter-in-law is a woman who comes here taking a breather. Okay, so according to scholars, the rendering of that is daughter is indeed from outside tribe and come into the family and resting here, like permanently stopping here, no longer moving anywhere else. And it's same as the concept of Chinese. We regard women marrying to another family as return to that family, as if she originally came from. No, this is a new family. But the concept of return was constructed by this woman going to the new, like that's the destiny to the for the woman, not stay unmarried under your original parents, but you are going to find your husband and then go with stay with that family. And so this return concept was like woman return to its supposed destined household. So in that way, it's a future oriented. And here, the woman taking a resting in the new family and supposedly like permanently, right? I guess divorce in ancient times was not that common. And so this woman resting place as the woman destiny place. So that's the connection there. Okay, daughter-in-law, we have 媳妇. Okay, 媳妇. With this added at the end, you can tell that's northern China dialect, which will curl the town at the end of the pronunciation. And originally means son, and we have a daughter-in-law 媳妇, or there's a fu in the middle, means woman in general. And a fu actually means a woman with a brush, like domestic labor is a major, I guess, behavior. And so we associate a woman in general as this duster with this woman gender language. So we have woman resting in here that define the daughter-in-law plus the woman. That's the major role, the dusting, the cleaning, house cleaning, paired together plus this the sound. It means son and it means endearing. And so 媳妇, almost like from the husband's family's perspective, 媳妇, especially from the man's perspective. Oh, someone come here, take care of me. It's endearing, but at the same time, it's belittling. It's not regard your wife as somebody who, contributes so much to a household maintenance. It's regarded as that's the expectation, that's expected what you do, right? You return to this family and you resting all the way to this family. This is your permanent location. This is your destiny. You're here to do all the housework, feeding family, clean the house. That's your job. And there was a little bit of that at the same time of endearing. Okay, so that's 媳妇儿. Okay, 媳妇儿. That's how you pronounce it in a colloquial way. 媳妇儿. 童养媳. Okay, I only learned this later, and it's a shocker because I was born in the one-child policy era, and because my family have no choice of having a son, or they lost their chance of having a son. So I'm the only child. So I was brought out almost like without a sense of gender bias in China. I was brought out as the same way, like educated as like old. The gender equality was pretty high in my generation, growing up as a one child. Except that later on, I learned so many tragedies about families who insist on having boys. So then there was this gender imbalance in China, and 童养媳 was the ancient way to guarantee a wife for your son by bringing this girl very early on as a child. So you raise that child in your household until childbearing age. So child become child bearer, right? And then you're going to marry that child, turn, I guess, a teenager age-ish, and then you're going to marry her to your son. So 童养媳 almost like an ancient, societally accepted human traffic way, except that 童养媳 most likely is not human trafficked. It's almost like your parents cannot afford to raise you themselves, so they have to give you up early on when you're still a child, and then the consequence of you being married off earlier is your parents get paid like a prepayment almost like, but it's not going to get paid as the full amount as adult daughter. So the child daughter was sent off earlier to be raised by another family, and then you get reimbursement. I mean, payment for that early on, and then you lost your chance to raise your own child. And then this 童养媳 was raised by another family and then was destined almost like legally combined, legally bound to marry that family's son. So that's ancient practice, 童养媳. Okay, 婆媳关系. Okay, 婆 here means mother-in-law. We talked about how 姑 was originally means mother-in-law, and then later on replaced by another character, which is 婆. In contemporary Chinese, 婆 means mother-in-law. Xi, okay, means daughter-in-law. So these two in-laws, these two women of the man, okay, this ancient question of, for a guy, if your mother and your wife fall into water, who you save first, kind of tension, has been going on, and to the extent that Chinese create this set phrase 婆媳关系. Okay, so point out between the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law, because most likely they live under the same roof. Their connecting point is the husband. Okay, so husband's mother and husband's wife, they are going to have a certain dynamic over there. And Chinese coined this set phrase to highlight the tension or intricacy of that otherwise could be contentious relationship. Okay, 关系. I'm pretty happy about how I nailed what 关系 in Chinese is. So if you're not a Chinese, you're not from this culture, and you're probably early on would be introduced to this concept of 关系 in Chinese. That means relationship, but relationship is different from the English relationship. English relationship is most likely a relationship of either business relationship or personal relationship. But this 关系 is more in Chinese of a network of starting from the family bloodline network, and then from your tribe, from your village, from people you know, acquaintances, 关系. And then eventually in contemporary Chinese probably is more like a government, who you know, right? That kind of 关系. And Chinese use 关and 系 to define such social network. And I figured it out. Okay, what is 关? What is 系? 系, I understand, is the thread. It's this connecting thread to bind the two individuals together. Then what is 关? 关is this on and off switch. So it's kind of a control. And you have this one, this control thing with this thread connected. And then you have the whole network built on this basic model of guan and xi. So guan and xi, if we use it in mathematical terms, will be graph series perfectly mapped to the graph series. Two major components. One is node, one is edge. So node is this individual piece. This person can say yay or nay, right? So that's one. It's almost like a switch on and off. It's some sort of decision maker in there in this network, and this network, this connecting this line of A pointing to B, and then you just imagine thousands of those, or probably in terms of humans, how many people we know in our life, how many friends we have, right? Probably 100 up to 100 ish. And then we have all the spokes of lines connecting with one person to another person. Those are the xi, the connection thread. But how strong that connection is, and if you're going to have a yes or no on a certain decision along the line to go through this network, then that each individuals on this network will be considered a node. And that node can make different decisions depending on lots of conditions there. So that's how Chinese visualize or understand the network of things. And especially for agrarian society, people living under the same roof. I showed you how intricate we create different characters for different type of relationships from different point of views. And all that networking thing, Chinese conceptualize that as guan, this switch thing, and the xi, this tie thing, this thread thing, and it's perfectly as node and edge. So here is 猪八戒娶媳妇儿. It's again a fictional story of this pig-looking pig-head man. Okay, it's from that 西游记, the Journey to the West, one of the supposedly divinity and a semi-divinity, and then was bandaged to become this pig-headed man, and he is he's into women. So in that story, most of the characters are monk-like. They are out there on a mission, but this is the most humanistic figure of all. And this Zhu Bajie had such a desire for women that when he sees a pretty girl, he would like to marry. There was this story of this girl was then cosplayed by his other his teammate who went toward this west conquest, not conquest, this quest to the west to get a true knowledge of Buddhism scripts or something like that, right? So the Sun Wukong, this monkey king figure, can transform into all kinds of figures. So this is the monkey king, actually, in the face and body of this cute girl that Zhu Bajie, this character Pigman, thought he was getting home with. And so all kinds of funny comedy skit over there. And this is a well-known Chinese, not folklore, but a classical literature that play out this dynamic of this man who is really into women and want to marry kind of out of his own league, right? In terms of how he looks, but he's not frustrated. He's never frustrated by rejections. And finally he got it. And I'm aware that this is actually Monkey King that's on his back. So that's 猪八戒娶媳妇. Xi, thank you for your time. See you another day.